Hello everybody. Last thing we were going through, I was receiving the code P0305 and P2006. So I managed to fix the misfire by changing the spark plugs, and the intake code. The reason why I was receiving the code was because parts of the intake were broken off, so I had already removed the other two, but there's three of these little things that go here. They look exactly like this. So there was three of them, and all three of these had the rods broken at the connection point. So it was holding on to nothing, and this flap was, not being able to basically move. So it was giving the code that the manifold was stuck closed. And this is basically, I think it was stuck like this, so it was showing that it was stuck closed. So that's when I move the flap, it's open. I move it again, it's closed. So I'm pretty sure that that's what was giving me the code that the manifold was stuck closed, because nothing was attached, nothing was moving. So basically I am going to replace the intake with a new one, but I wanted to make this little clip as an update, and also for those who have similar problems to check with your intake manifold, because this grease is not supposed to be there, and I'm pretty sure this whole buildup is the reason why these push rods broke in the first place, and they weren't allowing any vacuum to go and to push these rods to make the connection to keep going. So yeah, you remove 4 bolts off each side. I can't see the back right there. Off each side, so it'll be totaling 8 bolts that you remove. And you would also have to get the gaskets separately. I believe you probably can get them together, but it will be costly if depending on where you get it. I got a new one coming in from eBay, about 170, so that's gonna be coming in next week. So right here is where the intake was removed from. You would have to remove every access point from the wire harness, and most likely separate the wires from the ignition coils in order to get through. You would also have to remove one of the placeholder brackets, as well as disconnecting the fuel gauge. Make sure you have a rag for that to catch the fuel that's coming out. So I'm gonna have to be cleaning all that gunk so that so that none of that falls into the engine, and so that I can get this out of the way now, since I have the intake out. But yeah, so that was my problem that I had. Be sure to check first with the ignition coils and the spark plugs if you had the other code for the misfire. But if you're having the code P2004, P2005, or P2006, it would be related to the intake. So I just received the intake manifold in the mail through eBay. So this is how it should have looked on my other intake, the one that was missing the left and the right, um, actuators. So the left one was supposed to be connected through here. This middle one that was broken off my other one, this rod was supposed to be connected into the bracket, and the right one was supposed to be connected into its little connection point. But all three of these were broken. I'm assuming because of how sluggish and greasy it was. So this is how my intake was supposed to have looked like, and how the other one looked. So I have to now put the gas lines on it, and it's looking good, to be honest, for an eBay intake for a little less than half the price, basically. Um, but yeah, let's see how this would go. So this seems to work on this side. That's cool. Now this side. Yep, seems to work all together. So I'll be putting this on soon. I need to get the gaskets for this. And yeah, so I'll hopefully be recording that process soon. Before I put the new intake in, I am removing these 4 bolts to remove this part. Forgot what it's called. And then I'm also gonna remove the gas lines so that I could put it in the new intake. Alright, so the last I left off, I removed the throttle body. I also had removed the gas line from the old intake, which all you gotta do, to be honest, for me, I grabbed it from here and put my thumb up here, wiggled it out. I put, my right hand on top of the intake to secure it from not falling off. And I didn't just straight pull out one, then the other, then the other. You gotta budge them loose till they all kind of come equally. And then one side may lift up, then you gotta try the next, then you gotta try the next till one lifts up. Then you gotta do the other side and make sure that one of these lift up or one of these lift up, because if you just completely turn one side over, you're gonna snap these, and you don't want them to be snapped. So another problem that came in, none of these are threaded. Yeah, well, I don't know, can't really tell, but yeah, nothing is threaded, absolutely nothing. You can kind of see from there, but my phone won't really allow me to focus that much. But anyways, so you put these back on, put your throttle body back on, and then this elbow would go on, and you slap that back in the intake. In the engine. I will leave a link for this intake if you guys want it, but I don't know. You get what you pay for. And this Felpro gasket's what I got for this intake, because you got to. And I was also using blue for the bolts, so that's gonna be coming in pretty dandy. So that's gonna be that for my video. This is just focusing on the intake right now. After this, I would have to put back in the parts that I took out, but for you, simply it would probably just be the bolts and stuff that you removed, the bracket that you would have to have removed, uh, the computer part that sits on top right here, and the wire harness basically, because I had removed the water pump and something else, but you didn't need to do all that. I was just making sure that, things were working. So in that case, I'm going to also leave a video, a step-by-step video of somebody that I watched that helped me actually perform this on my own car for the first time. So the channel is Irepair Autos. I will leave that in the description below. He goes in depth of everything that you need to know, and he does it fairly well. So for the parts that I didn't explain and that you are confused about, the video below will help you guys with everything that helped me. So yeah, you like, I know this video was everywhere, but spent about a week, so that's kind of why. Thank you.